Hello and welcome to the ACT Math Practice Prep portion of the ACT. I'm going to do my very best to give you some ideas on how to solve these 60 questions. The videos will be broken up into parts, so please bear with me. I'm not sure how far I'll be able to get done in 15 minutes with a certain number of questions, so I'll be able to label that later. If you ever feel like I am talking or writing too fast, please pause the video. Okay, let's look at the first one. We have the numbers 1 through 15 were written, and they want less than 8 or 9, less than 9. So that means that 9 is not a possibility. We know we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So out of the total that we have, total number we have, and then what we are looking for, or not looking for, I should just say total versus what we have or what we know. There we go. I like that better. So want over total. Okay, so we want 8 out of 15. Now, you guys are going to be able to solve some of these way faster than I do it mathematically. That is completely okay. I always tell my students there's more than one way to solve a math problem. Number 2 here, which of the following expressions is equivalent to this equation? You have to combine like terms. So what is negative 4 minus 12? So that's negative 16x cubed. Because you are adding and subtracting, your power does not change. And then you have just plus 9x squared. Okay, so that would be J. I didn't circle E. Okay, the next one is a substitution question. That means you want to take any place you see an X and you plug a 2. PEMDAS. PEMDAS is your friend. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, add, and subtract. So parentheses first. That means this guy. What is 3 times 2? Hopefully you're telling yourself 6. And then we have another set of parentheses. What is 12 divided by 6? Again, hopefully you're telling yourself 2. And then you have 10 plus 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 6 plus 10 is 16. Okay. 4 is talking about the absolute value. You're looking at how far from 0 are you. So first we want to do 6 minus 4. What is 6 minus 4? 2. And then this sign just says subtract. So put that there. And then what's 3 minus 8? Well, that is negative 5. But the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. Okay, and then you do your operation here, 2 minus 5, which is negative 3. Here, FOIL is your friend. This is number 5. FOIL means first, outer, inner, last. Okay, so we have to do 4c times 3c. That's 12c squared. Then we have to do 4c times d, which is just 4cd. Now our inner part, negative 3. It's negative 3d times 3c, which is going to be negative 9cd. And then the last one, negative 3d times d, which is negative 3d squared. Your last step is to combine like terms. This is your only like terms, 4 minus 9. Hopefully you're telling yourself 4 minus 9 is negative 5. Your variables stay the same. So your answer would be C. Okay, so here again, this is like a probability question. You have 180 students total. A fourth of them scored an A, A third of them scored a B, and you are looking for C, how many students earned, not what was the ratio or what was the percentage, how many students, the total number of students, okay? So what was the total number of students that scored an A? If you have no idea how to solve this, set it up as a proportion, okay? X means how many students scored an A over your total. So you cross multiply. 1 times 180 is 180 equals 4 times x, which is 4x. And then you have to divide by 4. So when you do that operation, the total number of students that scored an A was 45. Okay. Part B here, we have 1/3. Again, it's the exact same thing. 1/3 equals x over 180. You're setting it up as a proportion. And then you would cross multiply. 1 times 180 is 180. And 3 times x is 3x. And then we want to do 180 divided by 3, which is 60. I should call that y, but that's okay. So 45 students scored an A, 60 students scored a B, okay? How can we find what C is? Well, they have to add up to be 180, right? So what is 60 plus 45? Hopefully you're saying 105, right? And then we need to do 180 minus 105. Which is 75. All right, here, don't make this problem hard. It is long. They give you the equation right here. And they tell you x is in terms of years. And your starting place is at 2000. So that means it's at 0. So you can think of it like you being born. So if you were born in 2000, in 2001, you're going to be 1. In 2005, you're going to be 5. So in this question, it says in year 2006. So we're talking about year number 6, okay? So that's what you're going to plug into your x position. So 2 to the power of 6, hopefully you guys can do that. If not, do it on your calculator. You get 64, and then do 64 times 3, and that's going to give you 192, sorry. B. If you want to plug it all in on your calculator, do it all like this. All right, let's go to the next page. Here, we're talking about someone's driving, and they want to drive from, I'm going to call it C, so Chicago, all the way to Baton Rouge. Then that whole distance, we don't know how far, man driving at 8 a.m. He was 510, so he's 510 miles. So this is total, 510 kilometers to Baton Rouge. At 1 o'clock, he was 105 miles or kilometers away. Okay, so here's where he stopped right here. Okay, so 510 total, 105 is how much he had left at 1. So this is 8 a.m., this is 1 p.m. All right, now distance equals rate times time. That's the formula you want to use. All right, so the rate is what you're looking for. Time, hopefully you guys can count from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That's 5 hours. Okay, so 5 hours has gone by. So that's what you're going to plug into T. And your distance, you have to do 510 minus 105 because this is the portion we're talking about. We want to know how fast was this person going from Chicago to this stopping point right here. So if you do 510 minus 105, you get 405. That's your distance equals R and then times 5. Divide that by 5, right? Because that's how you get R. And how fast he was going is H, 81 miles per hour. Okay. 9 is a geometry question. Right now, you know that these lines are all parallel. What that tells you is the triangles that you have, so you have triangle ADE, triangle AFG, and triangle ABC are all similar. That means that their proportions or their ratios are the same. Their sides aren't the same, but their ratios are the same. You also know their angles are all the same, so congruent. So if you think back into geometry, that's something that you had learned previously. Let's look at this tiny triangle right here, ADE. You know this side is 8 and this side is 16. 8 to 16, right? That's your ratio. Well, we're looking for this whole thing, right? Well, what is the total of this length? Hopefully you guys can add 8, 7, and 6 together, and you get 21 over x. Now you could cross multiply and solve, or you could reduce this. Hopefully you guys know 8/16 is technically 1/2, which means whatever this side is, it doubles, so it becomes 42. Here we're talking about Katrina's she runs 15 miles in 2.5 hours. They want to know the number of minutes it takes her to run 1 mile. Well, you have to convert hours to minutes. Well, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So she ran 120 minutes with just in 2 hours, right? Well, we got to account for that 1/2. That 1/2 is 30 minutes. Think about a clock, right? If you don't know that, you could also set it up as a proportion. 1/2 equals x over 60, cross multiply, and solve for x, okay? But hopefully if you think about a clock, you know that half an hour is 30 minutes. So add up all of those. What's 60 plus 60 plus 30, which is 150 minutes total, right? And she ran 15 miles. So for just 1 mile, that means you would have to divide, which it would take 10 minutes to run a mile. All right, so here we have another proportion question or statistics question. 8 red marbles is what we're looking at. We have 8 red marbles out of the 24. That's the total. We don't care about the green or the yellow, but they want to know how many marbles do we have to add in to get 3/8. Because if you do 8 over 24 and you reduce that, that is only 1/3, okay? So you could do it mathematically, which my students just do not like. Take this, cross multiply, take this and cross multiply, and you could solve, or you could sit there and plug them in. What's 8 plus 11 and then 24 plus 11 and then reduce. So there's lots of different ways you could try to solve this mentally in your head, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to show you mathematically. You want to do 8 times 8. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not supposed to be an 8. That's supposed to be a 5. Oops. Okay, so we're going to solve it mathematically. So we have 5, 8 plus x equals 3, and then 24 plus x. So 5 times 8, that's 40. This is the distribution property. And then 5x equals 3 times 24. That is 72 plus 3x. I'm going to take the 40 and subtract it. And then I'm going to take my 3x and I'm going to subtract it. So 5 minus 3, that's 2x. Equals, and then 72 minus 40 is 32, and then divide by 2, and that's going to get you 16. So you added 16 extra marbles to red marbles to that bag. Okay, this is where my video is going to stop. We will pick back up on video 2 with number 12.